This is going to be a very short tutorial on how to achieve a cel-shaded anime look in your Unreal project. I'll be going step by step on how you can achieve the aesthetic that games from the early 2000s had back then. But before we get into the tutorial, there's one thing that I need to preface. I've scavenged all over the internet to find you the best way to create a cel-shaded shader in Unreal. And the most important thing that I have found out about creating shaders in Unreal is post-processing. Now you may be wondering, what is post-processing and why is it so important? Post-processing is the process of finalizing a game's looks. You can almost think of it as a polishing stage. This is the stage where developers will go into the game and add stuff like color correction, depth of field, bloom, etc. But in our case, we're going to be doing some post-processing to achieve the cel-shaded look that we're going for. Now look, I know that creating shaders can be very technical and convoluted, so I'll try and simplify my explanation as to how you can create the post-process shader for your Unreal project to achieve that anime cel-shaded look. Okay? Alright, cool, let's go.
Let's get scratching.
First off, you want to create a new material and open it up in the shader editor. Afterwards, there are two things that you need to do in the properties of that shader. First, you want to change the material domain from surface to post-process, and change the blendable location from scene color after tone mapping to scene color before DOF. Your material node should now change and look like this, with the emissive color input being the only input that's highlighted. Now, there are going to be 4 different groups that you have to make in order to be able to control the post-process shader. The 4 groups that you'll be making: a lighting info group, a color group, a tint color group, and a disable effects group. I'll be very brief with the explanations as to what group does what, but I'll still go into detail about what the purpose of each group and what nodes you should be using. The first group that we'll be creating is the lighting info group. The purpose of the lighting information group is to help create the harsh band between the shadow and the light, which gives us that two-tone cel-shaded look. Here's a list of all of the different nodes that I use to help create the lighting info group. Some of the nodes have small descriptions underneath them for if you need to make some changes. If you need to, please pause the video and carefully read which nodes you need. Alright, so the next group that we're going to be making is the color group. The purpose of this group is to be able to control the colors of the world lighting and the world shadow, so that we have a light and dark color for our shader. Here are all the nodes that I use for this specific group. Again, feel free to pause if you need to know what nodes to use. The next group is the tint colors group. The purpose of this group is to be able to control the colors of the highlights and the shadows. Here are all the nodes you're going to need. And the last group we're going to make is the disabled effects group. This group makes sure that the post-processing shader does not affect the sky. It'll make sure that from a certain distance, the sky does not become distorted by the cel shading. These are the final nodes that you will need. And just like that, you have created all 4 groups that make up your post-processing shader. All you need to do now is connect them to one another like so, connect them into your emissive color input, and save. Once you have finished your post-processing shader, you want to double-click it and turn it into an instance. After doing that, and before doing anything else, you want to be able to add a post-process volume into your world. That's where our instance will go. Now, in the Details tab, press the search bar and search up Materials. Underneath the Rendering Features tab, create an array and drag in your new post-processing shader instance in there. You should now see the cel shade effect applied. If not, then scale your post-process volume up until it covers your model. And just like that, we have been able to create a really good looking cel-shaded shader. But we're missing one thing, and that one thing is outlines. So, create a new material and follow this process. In the Shader Details tab of the Outline shader, switch the blend mode to mask, the shading modes to unlit, and turn on two-sided. After the setup in the Shaders tab, we're going to be setting up some nodes. Here are all the nodes that we're going to be using for this specific shader. With those nodes, you want to set them up like this. After making changes to the outline shader, you want to create an instance with the same outline shader. Then, click on your model in your scene, go to the Search tab, search up Overlay, you'll see the Overlay material. drag in your newly made instance into the overlay material tab. Afterwards, play with the parameters, and you should get your result. Your final result should look like this, a 3D model with Toon shaders and an outline. I hope I've been able to teach you something through this tutorial, whether that be learning what post-processing is, understanding Unreal's shading editor, or understanding how to create a Toon shader. Regardless, I really hope you had fun watching this video. Thank you for watching!